नोपहतोऽपि दशार्थवृत्त्या निद्रामवाह जठरीकृतलोकयात्र अन्तर्जले हि कशिपुस्पर्शानुकूलाम् भीमोर्मिमालिनिजनस्य सुखं विबृण्वन्. My Lord, you accept the pleasure of sleeping in the water of devastation, where there are violent waves, and you enjoy pleasure on the bed of snakes, showing the happiness of your sleep to intelligent persons. At that time, all the universal planets are situated within your abdomen. Darshini, Idanim, Drishyamanam Nija Upasyam Murtim Pranamati Dvabhyam. So now Lord Brahma, he offers his obeisances unto the form. Who is his personal object of meditation? That he is seeing in front of him in two verses. Dashardha Panchavritaya Yasyaha Taya Avidyaya Nidra Hetu Bhutaya Anabhibhutaha Api Nidramavaha. So even though the Supreme Lord is not overcome by ignorance in its five functions, because of which sleep arises, still he goes to sleep. In other words, Tasmadiyamte Swarupa Shakti Mahi Eva Nidra Iti Bhava. The implication is this sleep is caused by your Swarupa Shakti. It is not caused by uh, by your by any form of avidya. Actually, it is due to the features of Maya that one experiences avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha. These are five features of Maya. Avidya means ignorance, asmita means identification with one's gross body, subtle body, and so on. Raga means attraction towards these things. Dvesha means hatred towards anything which is in opposition to possessing them. Abhinivesha refers to obsession over whatever one possesses. So now it is these five features that, because of which one undergoes the three avasthas, Jagrata, Swapna, Sushupti, as conditions. So here the Supreme Lord goes to sleep, but it's not because of Maya, it's because of his Swarupa Shakti. That is the point. Jatari Krita, Udare Vilapita, Pravilapita, Lokayatra, Lokaparampara, yes, Saha. Which means that the Supreme Lord contains the entire string of living creatures, all the generations of living creatures, all of them are merged in his stomach. This is sometimes it is shown to sages like Markandeya. Ahireva kashipu shayya tasya sparshaha ankulaha yasya. The Lord uh, sleeps very comfortably because of the touch of this snake bed, Anantashesha. भीमोर्मि मालिनी प्रलय समुद्रे जनस्य प्राकृत लोकस्य अपि जल मध्य स्थ कोमलशय्या शायिनः सुखं भवति इति विवृण्वन् लोकवल्लीला एव त्वं भवसि इति भावः. The Supreme Lord is happy to sleep on the soft bed within the water, just like a common person. In other words, he is engaged in pastimes just like a common person. He is sporting like a common person. Yadva, or else. प्रलयकाले अपि जनमात्र भयदे समुद्रे अपि सर्पशय्यायाम् अपि सुखेन तव निद्रा असि. This is something is wrong with this. Wait, let me trace it out. What is this? From Nidrasi. Okay. निद्रासि इति सर्वकाल सर्वदेश सर्वसंभूतयः त्वमेव न अन्यः इति भावः. The implication is even at the time of devastation, in a time when everybody is frightened, even in the midst of the ocean, within an ocean, even when you are sleeping on a bed, you go to sleep very happily. In other words, you are free from fear at all times, at all places, and in the association of anyone, nobody else. This is the implication. सुखम विवृण्वन् इति कालदेशसङ्गतः भययुक्तः अपि निद्रालुः इति जनः सुखमेव निद्राति इति. Only somebody who's very sleepy will happily go to sleep, even if he is filled with fear because of a specific time or place. Persons who cannot think of anything beyond the limit of their own power are like frogs in a well, who cannot imagine the length and breadth of the great Pacific Ocean. Such people take it as legendary when they hear that the Supreme Lord is lying on his bed within the great ocean of the universe. They are surprised that one can lie down within water and sleep very happily. But a little intelligence can mitigate this foolish astonishment. There are many living entities within the ocean who also enjoy the material activities of eating, sleeping, defending, and mating. If such insignificant living entities can enjoy life within the water, why can't the Supreme Lord, who is all powerful, enjoy sleeping on the cool body of a serpent amidst the turmoil of violent ocean waves? The distinction of the Lord is that his activities are all transcendental and he's able to do anything and everything without being deterred, interfered by the limitations of time and space. He can enjoy his transcendental happiness regardless of material consideration. 21. यन्नाभिपद्मभवनात् समासमीड्य लोकत्रयोपकरणो यदनुग्रहेण तस्मै नमस्त उदरस्थ भवाय योग निद्रावसान विकसन नलिनेक्षणाय. O object of my worship, I am born from the house of your lotus navel for the purpose of creating the universe by your mercy. All these planets of the universe were stationed within your transcendental abdomen while you were enjoying sleep. Now your sleep has ended. Your eyes are opening like lotuses blossoming in the morning. Asam, abhuvam, lokatrayameva upakaranam, agyakari yasya saha. I came into existence, which means I arose, I woke up from uh, the ingredient which happens to be the three words. And I carry out your uh, instructions. Alternate meaning. सृष्टियादि द्वारा लोकत्रयस्य उपकारी. So I make the three worlds, but I also benefit the three worlds by this activity of creation and so on. उदरे स्थितः भवः संसार प्रपंचः यस्य तस्मै. I am offering my respectful obeisances unto you, who has the entirety of material existence within his uh, stomach, within his belly. Yoga nidra avasane samprati ratriyante iva vikasan nalinam iva ikshanam yasya tasmai. Your glance is like the blossoming lotus at the end of the night, at the end of your yoga nidra. Tena, hemat prabho, kripa paravara, jagrihi, jagrihi, kinkaraham, mangala aratrikam, karvani iti bhava. The implication is he is praying to the Lord. Oh, my master, oh, ocean of mercy, please wake up, please wake up. I'm your servant. I should do Mangalarati for you. Brahma is teaching us the beginning of Archana regulations from morning 4 o'clock to night 10 o'clock. Early in the morning, the devotee has to rise from his bed and pray to the Lord, and there are other regulatory principles for offering Mangalarati early in the morning. Foolish non-devotees, not understanding the importance of Archana, criticize the regulatory principles, but they have no eyes to see that the Lord also sleeps by his own will. The impersonal conception of the Supreme is so detrimental uh, to the path of devotional service that it is very difficult to associate with the stubborn non-devotees who always think in terms of material conceptions. Impersonalists always think backwards. They think that because there is form and matter, spirit should be formless. Because in matter there is sleep, in spirit there cannot be sleep. And because the sleeping of the deity is accepted in Archana worship, the Archana is Maya. All these thoughts are basically material. To think of matter either positively or negatively is still thinking materially. Knowledge accepted from the superior source of the Vedas is standard. Here in these verses of the Srimad Bhagavatam, we find that Archana is recommended. Before Brahma took up the task of creation, he found the Lord sleeping on the serpent bed in the waves of the water of devastation. That was sleeping exists in the internal potency of the Lord, and this is not denied by pure devotees of the Lord like Brahma and his disciplic succession. It is clearly said here that the Lord slept very happily within the violent waves of the water, thereby demonstrating that he is able to do anything and everything by his transcendental will and will not be hampered by any circumstances. The Mayavadi cannot think beyond his material existence, and thus he denies the Lord's ability to sleep within the water. His mistake is that he compares to himself, and that comparison uh, is also a material thought. The whole philosophy of the Mayavada school, based on not this, not that, neti neti, is basically material. Such thought cannot give one the chance to know the Supreme Personality of Godhead as He is. 22. Soyam samasta jagatam suhrideka atma satvena yan mridayate bhagavan bhagena tenaiva medrisham manusprishatad yatha ham srakshyami purvavadidam pranata priyosau. Let the Supreme Lord be merciful toward me. He is the one friend and soul um, of all living entities in the world. And by his 6 transcendental opulences, he maintains um, all for their ultimate happiness. May he be merciful towards me so that I, as before, may be empowered with introspection to create. Uh, for I'm also one of the surrendered souls who are dear to the Lord. Okay, just 1 minute. Just okay. एवं स्तुत्वा प्रार्थयते सोऽयम् इति चतुर्भिः. After praising the Lord uh, in this manner, after describing his glories, he now makes a request in 4 verses, beginning with the current verse, text 22. Samasta प्राकृत अप्राकृतानां सुहृत् पालकः आत्मा निरुपाधि प्रेम आस्पदम्. समस्त जगताम् एकः आत्मा. You are the maintainer, well-wisher. Suhrit here in this context means maintainer, the protector of all the worlds means the material and the spiritual worlds. And you are the Atma, which means you are the abode of unconditional love. It means you are the object of unconditional love, and you are the one who bestows unconditional love also. Evam bhutasya anyasya abhavad ekaha. And he is alone having this nature. There's nobody else who has this nature. Yad yasmat satvena gunena palana lakshanena samasta jagati eva prakritani mridayate sukhayati. Bhagena swiya shad aishwaryena prakritan bhakta jananapi mridayate. Tasma tenaiva satvena किंचिन मात्रेण भगेन च मम दृशम प्रज्ञाम प्राकृतिम भक्तिमत्वा अंशेन अप्राकृतिम च अनुस्पृशतु पालयतु. Since you give happiness to the material world by through sattva as the protector, you use sattva to give happiness to the material world, and you give happiness to the devotees who are non-material. That means the devotees in the spiritual world, through your bhaga, through your 6 opulences, which are intrinsic to you. So therefore, please, may you protect me. May you protect me by a small portion of that sattva guna, and also because I am engaged in devotional service, through a small portion of the non-material aspect. That means through a small bit of your bhaga, the 6 opulences, spiritual opulences. Please protect me. Please protect me means please glance upon me. Please give rise to spiritual wisdom in me. Yatha aham svakshyam, so that I can create prakritan, all these material entities, maricyadin, such as marichi, sashtum, so that I can create all of them. Aprakrita naradadimscha avirbhavayitum, and I will also know, so that I will also learn how to manifest the non-material living entities like Narada. Narada is fully spiritual, he's completely liberated soul, but he comes through Brahma. Yataha asau prabhu prantimatre krite api priyaha. And because you are and because you are capable, and because you are dear to one who simply offers obeisances, I know that you can do this and I can put this request. That is the idea. The Supreme Lord Purushottama or Shri Krishna is the maintainer of all in both the transcendental and material worlds. He is the life and friend of all because there is eternally natural affection and love between the living entities in the Lord. He is the one friend and well-wisher for all, and he is one without a second. The Lord maintains all the living entities everywhere by his six transcendental opulences, for which he is known as Bhagavan, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Brahma prayed for his mercy so that Brahma might be able to create the universe as he did before. Only by the Lord's causeless mercy could he create both material and spiritual personalities like Marichi and Narada, respectively. Brahma prayed to the Lord, uh, who is very dear to the surrendered soul. The surrendered soul knows nothing but the Lord, and therefore the Lord is very affectionate towards him. 23. एष प्रपन्न वरदो रमयात्मशक्त्या यद्यत् करिष्यति गृहीत गुणावतारः तस्मिन् स्वविक्रममिदं सृजतो विचेतो युञ्जीत कर्म शमलं च यथा विजह्याम्. The Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, is always the benefactor of the surrendered souls. His activities are always enacted through his internal potency, Rama, the goddess of fortune. I pray only to engage in his service in the creation of the material world. I pray that I not being materially affected by my work, for thus I may be able to give up the false prestige of being the creator. Right. What is this? Yeah, right. Which one? This is the verse. So, variant reading order. तस्मिन् स्वविक्रममिदं सृजतोऽपि चेतो किञ्चित् कर्मशमलं च यथा विजह्याम्. Exactly identical. पुनश्च रजोगुणं मय्या सृष्टेः बिभ्यत् स्वीयभक्तेः अभ्युदयं प्रार्थयते. Now Brahma is praying for the auspicious development of his Bhagavad Bhakti because he's frightened of the creative work which will be primarily filled with Rajoguna. So he offers a prayer. एषः भवान् प्रपन्नाय मह्यम् एतद् वरदः अस्तु इत्यर्थः. Your Lordship should benedict me who surrendered unto him. Ramaya Surupa Bhutaya Natu Maya ityarthah. When he appears in this world, he exhibits his affection to his devotees, but that is all arising from his Surupa Shakti, from his personal potency, not through Maya. That is the idea. Ataha grihita gunaha avataraha yasya saha. So then he also accepts these various gunavatars. तस्मिन् धरा उद्धरणादौ कर्मणि मम चेतः युञ्जीत प्रवर्तयतु. May he begin to engage my chetas, my mind, in this activity to uplift this earth. मम कथं भूतस्य what is my nature? Swavikramam swasya swaprabhuः vikramah prabhavah yasmin tad vishvam srijatah api तेन सृष्टौ मम चेतः न आसज्यतु किन्तु तत् लीलाकथायामेव इति अर्थः. So while my mind will be engaged in the creation of this world, which is invested with the influence of my master, uh, my mind should not become attached to uh, that activity of creation. Rather, it should be attached to the topics of the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of God. Only this is the meaning. Karma shamalam srishti yuktham vaishamyadi papam tyakshyami. So that I avoid sinful activities such as being partial uh, when I engage in this activity of creation. In the matter of material creation, maintenance, and destruction, there are three incarnations of the material modes of nature: Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwar. But the Lord's incarnation as Vishnu in his internal potency is the supreme energy for all activities. Brahma, who is only an assistant in the matter of creation, wanted to remain in his actual position as an instrument of the Lord instead of becoming puffed up by the false prestige of thinking himself the creator. That is the way of becoming dear to the Lord and receiving his full benediction. Foolish men want to take credit for all creations made by them, but intelligent persons know very well that not a blade of grass can move without the will of the Lord. Thus, all the credit for wonderful creations must go to him. By spiritual consciousness only can one be free from the contamination of material influences and receive the benedictions offered by the Lord. You understand that? 24. नाभिह्रदादिह सतोऽम्भसि यस्य पुंसो विज्ञानशक्तिरहमा समनन्तशक्ते रूपं विचित्रमिदमस्य विवृण्वतो मे मा रीरशिष्टनिगमस्य गिरां विसर्ग. The Lord's potencies are innumerable. As he lies down uh, in the water of devastation, I am born as a total material energy from the navel lake in which the lotus sprouts. I am now engaged in manifesting his diverse energies in the form of the cosmic manifestation. I therefore pray that in the course of my material activities, I may not be deviated from the vibration of the Vedic hymns. Imcha, moreover, Bhagavan's तव ऐश्वर्यसिन्धोः कणमात्रे अपि अस्मिन् मम यत् प्रवेशः तत् खलु वेद अभ्यास प्रसादात् एव. The entry of mine into uh, a small bit of the ocean of your pastimes is because of the mercy I have received by engaging in Veda Abhyasa. Veda Abhyasa means by studying the Vedas, by repetitive study of the Vedas in the form of practice. यदुक्तं वेदश्चक्षुस्तवेश्वर इति सम्प्रति तु सृष्ट्यर्थ कविविध व्यापारवत्वेन अनध्यवसाय तस्य वेदस्य विस्मृतिः मे सम्भविष्यति सा मा भूत् इति प्रार्थयते नाभि. But because no, first of all, from 11.20.4 we understand that the Veda is a source of knowledge through which it is a source of knowledge given by the Lord by which we can see everything. So it is in fact considered to be the source of our vision provided by the Lord. Now, right now, I have to um, put, I will not be attentive to that Veda because I'll be absorbed in, uh, this is wrongly hyphenated. I'll be engaged in various activities for the purpose of this creation. So I will not be having concentration, focus on that Vedas. So there is a possibility that I may forget the Vedas. Let that not happen. With this in mind, he offers this current prayer, text 24. यस्याम्भस्ति सतः पुंसः तव नाभिहृदादहम् आसं विज्ञानशक्तिः विज्ञानमयपुरुषः समष्टिजीवरूपः बुद्धि तत्त्व अधिष्ठाता वा अस्य परमेश्वरस्य रूपम् इदं विश्वं विस्तारयतः मम निगमस्य अवयवभूतानां गिरां विसर्गः ऋगादिभेदप्रपञ्चः मा रीरीशीष्ट मा अतिशयेन लुप्यताम् मायया विस्मृतः भवतु. विस्मृतः भवतु. विस्मृतः मा should be. Let me look for a variant rating. I think something is wrong with this. Ma अतिशयेन मा अतिशयेन लुप्यताम्. Then how does it go? अतिशयेन लुप्यताम् मायया विस्मृतः भवतु. Okay. This command's wrong. In this way, the prayer is, I am the Vijnanamaya Purusha, which means I am the collection of all the jivas in this Brahmanda. I'm also the presiding deity of the element of buddhi, intelligence. And I have taken birth from your lotus navel. You are that person who is existing in these waters of creation. This very universe is in fact a form of yourself, the Supreme Lord. So now I'm going to create this universe. I'm going to expand this universe. So the manifestation of the words of the Vedas, which are all going to come from different parts of my body, and which will be Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Atharva, Sama, the Puranas, Itihasas, this entire body of Vedic knowledge. May they not be lost while I create. In other words, may I not forget all of them out of Maya. Rish himsayam iti asya. This is grammatically. May I not forget them. May these not at all go away from me. Every person engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord in this material world is prone to so many material activities, and if one is not strong enough to protect himself against the onslaught of material influence, he may be diverted from the spiritual energy. In the material creation, Brahma has to create all kinds of living entities with bodies suitable to their material conditions. Brahma wants to be protected by the Lord because he has to contact many vicious living entities. An ordinary Brahmana may fall from the Brahma Tejas or the power of Brahmanical excellence due to his association with many fallen conditioned souls. Brahma, as the supermost Brahmana, is afraid of such a fall down. Therefore, he prays to the Lord for protection. This is a warning for one and all in the spiritual advancement of life. Unless one is sufficiently protected by the Lord, he may fall down from his spiritual position. Therefore, one has to pray constantly to the Lord for protection and the blessing to carry out one's duty. Lord Chaitanya also entrusted his missionary work to his devotees and assured them of his protection against the onslaught of material existence. The path of spiritual life is stated in the Vedas to be like the edge of a sharpened razor. A little inattentiveness may at once create havoc and bloodshed, but one who is a completely surrendered soul, always seeking protection from the Lord in the discharge of his entrusted duties, has no fear of falling into material contamination. 25. So sa vadabhra karuno bhagavan vivruddha prema smitena nayanamburuham vijrumbhan उत्थाय विश्व विजयाय चनो विषादम माध्या गिरा पन्नयतात पन्नयतात पुरुषः पुराण. The Lord who is supreme and is the oldest of all is unlimitedly merciful. I wish that he may smilingly bestow his benediction upon me by opening his lotus eyes. He can uplift the entire cosmic creation and kindly remove our dejection by sweetly speaking his directions. Kincha, moreover, Prabhu's kripa katakshya kripa nideshabhyam eva dasasya nissamshaya anandaha bhavet iti tavaiva prarthayate. A servant will doubtlessly become blissful when he receives the merciful glance and instruction of his master. Therefore, he prays for both of this, the glance of mercy and instruction. So Saviti in the current verse. Vijrumbhan, Vijrumbhayan, Naha Asmakam, Vishwasmin, Sarvatreva Vijayaya. Please open your eyes, open your lotus-like eyes, and which means please wake up. And in this creation, Vishwasmin, everywhere in this creation, Vijayaya, Srishti Adishu Parabhava Abhavaya cha Chakarat Purmukta Vanshita Siddhaya cha. Please glance at me so that I will not have to face any defeat in the matter of creation and so on. The word cha indicates that the Supreme Lord should also fulfill the desire that he had stated earlier, that is to always remember the Lord, remember the Vedas, and so on. Madhya, Madhurya Maya, Vishwam Srija iti Nideshi Maya Gira. Please dispel my sorrow through your very sweet instructions. The sweet instruction that you should now create this world. The Lord is ever increasingly merciful upon the fallen souls of this material world. The whole cosmic manifestation is a chance for all to improve themselves in devotional service to the Lord, and everyone is meant for that purpose. The Lord expands himself into many personalities who are either self-expansions or separated expansions. The personalities of the individual souls are his separated expansions. Whereas the self-expansions are the Lord himself. The self-expansions are predominators and the separated expansions are predominated for reciprocation of transcendental bliss with the supreme form of bliss and knowledge. The liberated souls can join in this blissful reciprocation of predominator and predominated without materially concocted ideas. The typical example of such a transcendental exchange between the predominator and the predominated is the Lord's Rasa Leela with the gopis. The gopis are predominated expansions of the internal potency, and therefore the Lord's participation in the Rasa Leela dance is never to be considered like the mundane relationship of man and woman. It is rather the highest perfectional stage of the exchange of feelings between the Lord and the living entities. The Lord gives the fallen souls the chance for this highest perfection of life. Lord Brahma is entrusted with the management of the complete cosmic show, and therefore he prays that the Lord bestow his blessings upon him so that he may execute its purpose. 26. Maitreya Vacha. Swasambhavam nishamyaivam tapovidya samadhibhi yavan manovachastutva viramasya khinnavat. The sage Maitreya said, O Vidura, after observing the source of his appearance, namely the personality of Godhead, Brahma prayed for his mercy as far as his mind and words would permit him. Thus, having prayed, he became silent, as if tired from his activities of penance, knowledge, and mental concentration. Swasya sambhavaha yasmat tam tapaha sharira vidya acharya chaitya vapusha swagatim vyakti iti ritya akasmika spurti praptatan mantra upasana samadhi chitta ekagriyena dhyanam तैः निशाम्य दृष्ट्वा यथाशक्ति स्तुत्वा कृपाकटाक्षस्य अनुपलम्भा खिन्न एव राम. So now he sees the source of his appearance in front of him, and he is stopping as if he's tired. Khinna eva virarama, because he has not received the Lord's glance of mercy. So here, the austerity that he has taken out, that refers to bodily austerities. As far as vidya or knowledge is concerned, that is mantra upasana, worship of the mantra related to the Supreme Lord that has suddenly been revealed to him from within his heart. As noted in 11.29.6, the Supreme Lord appears externally in the form of the Acharya and internally in the form of the Chaitya Guru to direct the soul towards him. Samadhi refers to focused meditation using one's mind. So using all of this, he was able to observe the source of his appearance. And he also offered his prayers to the best of his ability. But because he did not attain the glance of mercy from the Lord, he stopped as if he was tired. Brahma's enlightenment and knowledge was due to the Lord sitting within his heart. After being created, Brahma could not ascertain the source of his appearance. But after penance and mental concentration, he could see the source of his birth. And thus he became enlightened through his heart. The Lord is therefore called the Chaitya Guru, the spiritual master sitting in the heart. The spiritual master outside and the spiritual master within are both representations of the Lord. Unless one is such a bona fide representation of the Lord, one cannot claim to be a spiritual master. Lord Brahma had no opportunity to take the help of the spiritual master from outside, because at that time, Brahma himself was the only creature in the universe. Therefore, on becoming satisfied by the prayers of Brahma, the Lord enlightened him about everything from within. The Lord is so kind that he is always prepared to help any living being attain spiritual enlightenment if he simply concentrates his mind to find out the source of his existence. 27 to 28. Achyutanam Prabhu.
Prabhuji, this purport may increase the expectations of the Ritviks.
Why? Why? What? Why? What? What is wrong or strange here? Sorry, Bol. Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhu, sorry, I was mute. I was speaking, but I was mute. In this one line is there, unless one is such a bona fide representation of the Lord, one cannot claim to be spiritual master. So they may say that current ISKCON gurus, are they like this? Are they
That is
bona
a
fide?
problem. ISKCON has to deal with it. ISKCON has to deal with this. Prabhupada, definitely, not only here. You look at that compilation, Spiritual Master and Disciple. Clearly, it is there from his books. That unless the spiritual master is a first class devotee, one should not accept a person lower than that as a spiritual master. Very clearly, he says that. So ISKCON should deal with that. If it is claiming that all of its ISKCON enlisted gurus are gurus of this type, if they are not, then they should specify what it is. 27 to 28. अथाभिप्रेतमन्वीक्ष्य ब्राह्मणो मधुसूदनः विषण्चेतसं तेन कल्पव्यतिकराम्भसा लोकसंस्थानविज्ञान आत्मनः परिखिद्यतः तं महागाधया वाचा कश्मलं शमयन्निव. The Lord saw that Brahma was very anxious about the planning and construction of the different planetary systems and was depressed upon seeing the devastating water. He could understand the intention of Brahma, and thus he spoke in deep, thoughtful words, removing all the illusion that had arisen. Kalpa Vyatikara Ambhasa Playakalan Milita Agantuka Jalena Hetuna Vishanna Chetasaha. Brahma's mind was um, disturbed, depressed. His heart was depressed uh, because of the water that had incidentally come about at the time of Pralaya Kala, at the time of dissolution. This is in between the kalpas. Kalpa Vyatikara Ambhasa. तथा आत्मनः स्वस्य लोकानां देवतरी आदीनां संस्थानं समुचित स्वभावतया निर्माण स्थापना आदि परिपाटी तद् विज्ञाने खिद्यतः ब्रह्मणः अभिप्रेतमन्वीक्ष्य ज्ञात्वा तमाह इत्यन्वयः. So he understood what Lord Brahma wanted to convey in his prayer, because Brahma has to work out the entire arrangement of placing the different elements in such a manner that all the different conditioned souls, the devas, the animals, and so on, all of them get appropriate to their nature, the particular types of bodies, accommodating arrangements. He has to build them, he has to fix them in the right place. So the Supreme Lord understood Brahma's perplexity, and then he spoke to him. Kashmala Moham Shamayan Iva, dissipating his illusion, delusion. The devastating water was so fearful that even Brahma was perturbed at its appearance and became very anxious about how to situate the different planetary systems in outer space to accommodate the different kinds of living entities, such as the human beings, those lower than the human beings, and the superhuman beings. All the planets in the universe are situated according to the different grades of living entities under the influence of the modes of material nature. There are 3 modes of material nature. When they're mixed with one another, they become 9. When the 9 are mixed, they become 81. And the 81 also become mixed, and thus we ultimately do not know how the delusion increases and increases. Lord Brahma had to accommodate different places and situations for the requisite bodies of the conditioned souls. The task was meant only for Brahma, and no one else in the universe can even understand how difficult it is. But by the grace of the Lord, Brahma was able to execute the tremendous task so perfectly that everyone is amazed to see the workmanship of the Vidhata or the regulator. Vidhata, regulator. These are all names of Lord Brahma. Something in the chat box. The whole cosmic manifestation is a chance for all to improve themselves in devotion service to the Lord, and everyone is meant for that purpose. Here, all are not interested. Then, has the Lord's plan failed? No. It is a chance given to those who want to improve in devotion service. Those who do not want, they can go to hell. The Lord is giving a chance. He's only giving a chance. How will He work on it? Who has to work on it? The Lord is given a chance. That's all. It's up to you. Unless one is sufficiently protected by the Lord, he may fall down from his spiritual position. Therefore, one has to pray constantly to the Lord for protection and blessing to carry out one's duty. What is this constant praying? What constant praying is constantly one has to pray. While externally he may be executing various activities. Internally, he has to pray to the Lord constantly. That should be a part of one's consciousness, just like a heartbeat is a part of the functioning of the body, like that. Such offering of prayers has to be part of his very existence. Prarthana koraye sada narottamadas. These are all standard instructions. Okay. 29. Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Ma Veda Garbhagastandrim Sarga Udyamam Avaha Tanmaya Paditam Hyagre Yanma Prathriyate Bhavan. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Brahma, O depth of Vedic wisdom, be neither depressed nor anxious about the execution of creation. What you are begging from me has already been granted before. Samasta moha upashamanam darshayati. So now Maitreya shows that all of Brahma's delusions were dissipated. Andrim, Agyanam, Magah. Do not make sure that you do not fall into ignorance. Vedagarbha iti. Nahi sarvam Veda vidyasya agyanam uchitam iti bhava. You are Vedagarbha. You have the depth of all Vedic wisdom, or depth of Vedic wisdom. It means you're the source of the Veda. So one who has complete knowledge and understanding of all the Vedas should not be in ignorance. This is the implication here. Nanu swasyasya shrishti samarthye samshayanaha asmi. But I have doubts about my capacity to engage in this activity of creation. If Brahma were to say this, anticipating that, Lord Narayana says, Tatraha sargayitu udyamaha nishphalaha bhavi iti api ma sankishta ityaha tanmaya. You should engage in this activity of creation. You just undertake the enterprises of creation. Just go about with your endeavors. It will certainly be successful. Don't doubt whether it will be a failure. Tan maya paditam hi agre yanmam prathayate bhavan. Tenaiva me drisham anusprishyattat iti yanmam prathayate. You have prayed that I should preserve your Vedic wisdom. That will certainly be accomplished because I have already given you what you're praying for. Any person authorized by either the Lord or his bona fide representative is already blessed, as is the work entrusted to him. Of course, the person entrusted with such a responsibility should always be aware of his incapability and must always look for the mercy of the Lord for the successful execution of his duty. One should not be puffed up because he is entrusted with certain executive work. Fortunate is he who is so entrusted. He is always fixed in the sense of being subordinate to the will of the Supreme. He is sure to come out successful in the discharge of his work. Arjuna was entrusted with the work of fighting on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And before he was so entrusted, the Lord had already arranged for his victory. But Arjuna was always conscious of his position as subordinate to the Lord. And thus he accepted him as the supreme guide in his responsibility. Anyone who takes pride in doing responsible work but does not give credit to the Supreme Lord is certainly falsely proud and cannot execute anything nicely. Brahma and persons in the line of his disciplined succession who follow in his footsteps are always successful in the discharge of loving transcendental service to the Supreme Lord. 30. Bhuyastvam tapat vidyam jaiva madashrayam ताभ्याम अंतर्हृदि ब्रह्मन् लोकान् द्रक्ष्यत्यपावृतान्. O Brahma, situate yourself in penance and meditation and follow the principles of knowledge to receive my favor. By these actions, you will be able to understand everything from within your heart. Nanu इदानीम् उद्यमेन किं भविष्यति मे मया सृज्याः ते भूर् आदयः लोकाः एव न दृश्यन्ते इत्यतः भूय इति. So now what is going to happen to my endeavors at this time? The planetary systems such as Dhurloka, which are meant to be created by me, they are not even seen. Understanding that Brahma was thinking this, the Lord speaks the current verse. Tapaha chitta aikagryam vidyam mantra upasana. So you'll be situated, Atishta, be situated in penance. Here, penance refers to focus of mind, concentration of the mind. And in knowledge, Vidyamcha. And be focused on knowledge. Knowledge here refers to worship through mantra, mantra upasana. The system, the process of knowledge refers to the process by which knowledge, understanding, realization comes about, which is mantra upasana. Antarhriti, hridaya vahistitham api. Vahistitham. Wait, I think there's typing mistake. Let me check. Mantra upasana. Vahistitham api lokan dhuradipatrastam vishyadishya avritam jalavarnashunyan drakshiyasi. Why did it say? Why did it say Vahistitham? Wait, let me look at that right. Hey Brahman, Tvam Bhuyaha Punarapi Tapaha Madashrayam Param Vidyam Cha Atishta Samashraya Tabhyam Tapu Vidyabhyam Eva Antarhriti Swahridaya Mantye Apavritam Spashtikritam Lokan Drakshyasi Yasyasi. Now I think that there's a typing mistake here. It appears to Vahistitham. अपि लोकान् भूरादिं त्रस्थान् मनुष्यादिंश्च अपावृतान् जलावरणशून्यान् द्रक्ष्यसि. When you engage in these activities, then you will be able to see the worlds such as Bhurloka, and you will be able to see the various species of life such as human beings, devoid of the covering of this water. So you will see in your heart and externally Bhurloka and so on, and their inhabitants, the human beings and so on, devoid of the covering of water. Tatascha maya eva yathastitaya darshayishyamana tan स्वहृदय एव दृष्ट्वा आदर्शदर्शी लेखक इव सुखेन एव बहिस्रक्ष्यसि. So now after you see what I'm going to show you within your heart, as they are meant to be properly situated, then uh, you can create them externally easily, just like a person who writes what he sees in a mirror. So he sees something and then he has to just write it like that. The mercy the Lord bestows upon a particular person engaged in executing the responsible work entrusted unto him is beyond imagination. But his mercy is received due to our penance and perseverance in executing devotion service. Brahma was entrusted with the work of creating the planetary systems. The Lord instructed him that when he meditated, he could very easily know how and where the planetary systems must be arranged. The directions were to come from within, and there was no necessity for anxiety in that time. Such instructions of Buddhi Yoga are directly imparted by the Lord from within, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 10.10. There's a question in the chat box. Not a blade of grass can move without the will of the Lord. It is so subtle to understand that everything is happening by His will only. How can we make them understand? How can we make the common people understand this? So first we need to understand. Then afterwards, we'll be capable of making the common people understand. In preaching, there is this sequence always. Janma sarthaka kori paropara upaka. So there are different stages of spiritual progress. So as we progress to a particular level, then we can help the common people come to that level. Then we are meant to progress to the next level. And then again, we help the common people come to that level. So in that way, as we progress, we are able to help others come to that position also. Achyutanam Prabhu.
Look, Prabhu, in context of preaching, this penance and perseverance which Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport, it means that I have to first of all carry out Prabhupada's instructions as given in the books, advance myself, and then only Lord will guide me how and how to preach and other details.
It's a continuous process. It is a continuous process. We Vichar, Achar, Prachar, all three are continuous process. It's an upward spiral. So there is one level of Vichar, Achar, Prachar, and then you progress to the next step. Again, Vichar, Achar, Prachar will continue. Then you progress to the next step. Then again, Vichar, Achar, Prachar will continue. So there are several levels. From Shraddha to Prema, there are so many levels. So at each stage, we take one step and we move up, and the Supreme Lord helps us become situated. So we develop in Vairagya, Vidya, Bhakti. Then we move up to the next level of Vairagya, Vidya, Bhakti. Then we move up to the next level of Vairagya, Vidya, Bhakti, like that. It's a continuous process.
Okay,
So Krishna's mercy also will keep coming. It will also keep coming. We should just ensure that we don't regress. Therefore, we should uh, take advantage of the teachings of the Supreme Lord as presented in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, so that we progress. Unidirectionally, we should progress. That is what Krishna wants from us. 31. Tata atmani loke cha bhakti yukta samahitah drashtasi mam tatam brahman mayi lokam atmanah. O Brahma, when you are absorbed in devotion service in the course of your creative activities, you will see me in you and throughout the universe, and you will see that you yourself, the universe, and the living entities are all in me. Mouse, okay. सृष्टि आवेश वशत्वे अपि त्वामहं न विस्मरेयम् इति यत् प्रार्थितं तत्राह. Now Brahma had prayed to the Lord that though I come under the obsession to engage in creation, even though I may become absorbed in the activity of creation, I should not forget you. So in response to that, the current verse is spoken. Tataha srishti samaye api. So when you are engaged in the activities of creation, bhakti yuktaha samahitaha cha san, when you are concentrated in your activity along with bhakti, so you are fixed in devotion service to me, and at the same time you are sufficiently fixed, you're concentrated. Atmani swam manasi bahi lokecha mam drashtasi. You will see me in your mind internally and externally in the worlds also. Bhakti yuktaha samahitaha cha. Takes this to mean bhakti yuktaha bhakti samahitaha cha. When you are engaged in bhakti and you concentrate in the activities of bhakti, so then you will be able to see me. Atha mai lokan bhuradin atmanah jivamscha mrid bhakshana leelayam yashoda iva drashtasi. So you will see me. You'll see all the worlds inside me. You'll see Bhurloka along with the various living entities inside me, just as Yashoda will see in that pastime of Krishna eating dirt. Yadva, or else. Tataha Krishnavatare vatsa vatsa pala adi akaraihi vyapakam mam mai loka brahmandani atmanaha chaturbhuja murti. Or you will see that all the universes are within me during the Brahma Vimohan Leela. When Krishna is spread out as all the calves and cowherd boys, you will see that all the universes are within them. And he will also see the Supreme Lord's own self, his own various expansions in the form of the four-armed Vishnu forms. Yadva, another name, Atmanaha, Swani, Bahum, Parameshtinaha, Dakshyasi. Why is it Swani? Wait, let me check. This is the constant. Swani, Bahum, Parameshtinaha, Dakshyasi. You will see several Parameshtis. You will see several forms of yourself. Oh, okay, I understand. Atmanah Swani. You will see several different forms of yourself. That means you will see many Brahmas, which he saw at the time of Brahma Vimohan Leela. Herein the Lord hints that Brahma would see him as Lord Shri Krishna when he appears during Brahma's daytime And then Brahma would then appreciate how the Lord expands himself into all the calves and boys during his childhood at Vrindavan. How Yashoda Mahi sees all the universes and planetary systems within the mouth of Krishna during his playful childhood pastimes. During the appearance of Lord Krishna, Brahma would also see that there are many millions of Brahmas. But all these manifestations of the Lord appearing everywhere in his eternal transcendental forms cannot be understood by anyone but the pure devotees who are always engaged in devotional service to the Lord and are fully absorbed in the Lord. So Prabhupada also takes Bhakti Yuktaha Samahitaha cha to mean Bhakti Yuktaha Bhakti Samahitaha cha. The high qualifications of Brahma are thus indicated here in 32. Yada tu sarvabhuteshu darushvagnim evasthitam pratichakshi tamam loko jahya tahyeva kashmalam. Only when you attain that state of transcendental vision in which you see me in all living entities as well as all over the universe, just as fire is situated in wood, will you be able to be free from all kinds of illusion. Karma shamalam cha yatha vijayam, not vijayam, vijahyam must be. Wait. Vijahyam, correct. इति यत् प्राचितं तत् खलु एतादृश्यां दशायां सम्भवेत् इत्याह. You had prayed that you should conquer the contamination due to this material activity. That will only be possible when you attain this stage. He conveys this in the current verse. Yadatu iti pratichakshiti pashyet. Pratichakshiti. Pratichakshi. What is it? Pratichakshi. Pratichakshita. Pratichakshita pashyet. Kashmalam moha. The contamination from this activity refers to the delusion caused by that activity. It is a material duty, but material duties also produce delusions, even though that material duty may be an activity of service to the Lord. So the activity of creation is a material activity, it's a material duty for Brahma. It is a duty which is being given to him by the Lord, but still it can produce a delusion. And therefore, Brahma offered his prayers correctly. That please may not fall under the clutches of that delusion, and the Supreme Lord also is blessing him. Brahma prayed that during the course of his material activities, he might not forget his eternal relationship with the Lord. In answer to that prayer, the Lord said that Brahma should not think of existing without a relationship with the Lord's omnipotency. The example is given of the fire in wood. The fire kindled in wood is always the same, although the wood may be of different types. Similarly, the bodies within the material creation may be specifically different according to shape and quality, but the spirit souls within them are not different from one another. The quality of fire, warmth is the same everywhere, and the spiritual spark or part and parcel of the Supreme Spirit is the same in every living being. Thus, the potency of the Lord is distributed all over his creation. This transcendental knowledge alone can save one from the contamination of material illusion. Since the Lord's potency is distributed everywhere, a pure soul or devotee of the Lord can see everything in relationship with the Lord, and therefore he has no affection for the outer coverings. That pure spiritual conception makes him immune to all contamination of material association. The pure devotee never forgets the touch of the Lord in all circumstances. Achyutanam Prabhu.
Bro, this holds true for us also. Like, my illusion will be gone when I'll be on this level.
For all of us, it is a standard process. We have Kleshagni, Shubhata, Moksha Labhata Krit, Sudurlabha, Sandrananda Visheshatma, Shri Krishna Karshini Jasa. 3 stages: pure sadhana bhakti, pure bhava bhakti, pure prema bhakti. When one comes to bhava bhakti, then spiritual realization or direct perception of the Supreme Lord comes, along with a correct understanding of one's position in this world also. So everything comes about. That applies to me, you, everybody else. It applies to Lord Brahma also. Okay, let's move on. Yadarhitamatmanam bhutendriya gunashayai swarupena mayopetam pashyan swarajyam rikshati. When you are free from the conception of gross and subtle bodies, when your senses are free from all influences of the modes of material nature, you will realize your pure form in my association. At that time, you will be situated in pure consciousness. Kasyam dashayam tvam prapnuyat. Okay, prapnuyat. At what stage can one attain you? Anticipating this, iti apekshayam aha yada atma. What happened? Yada atmana swam bhutadibhi rahitam swarupena eva na tu sviya jivatma parityajya iti artha. So in which stage can a person attain you? That was the basic question. And the answer is Maya Sevyena Parameshwarena Saha Upa Samipe eva itam Sevartham Praptam Pashyan Bhavati Tada Swarajyam Swena Swiyena Prabhna Saha Rajate iti Swarat Dasaha Tasya Bhavaha Karma Va Dasyam Richati Prapnati. Very, very fine explanation. A person should be free from the influence of the material elements, material senses, and the material modes of nature. Completely. Not at the expense of giving up his own nature as a jivatma. Not like that. So when the person sees that he has come close to the object of service, the Supreme Lord, and he approaches him in order to serve that Supreme Lord, then he attains Swarajyam, the spiritual kingdom. What does that mean? It means that he is shining along with his own master. In other words, he comes to the status of engaging in the activities of a pure servant of the Lord, and he attains that status of service to the Lord. Dasya. Kechit puner nirvishesha savishesha swarupayoha dvayoha eva stutau prakrantatva tad upasakānām jnāninām bhaktānām ca tantrena eva charamadasha vikataya padyamidam yachakshate. Then there are some others who interpret it differently, because Brahma in his prayers has referred to the impersonal and personal features of the Lord. So then there's definitely reference to the 2 different types of meditators on the absolute truth, the Gyanis and the Bhaktas. So in an indirect manner, this verse refers to the final state achieved by both of these. So another meaning would be Tatahi. That meaning would be Jnani Atmanam Shuddhatvam. Not like this. शुद्ध त्वं पदार्थ स्वरूपेण मया तत्पदार्थेन उपेतम् एकीभूतं पश्यन् यदा भवति when this is a reference to the jnani. So when the jnani sees the jivatma become one with me, then tada swarajyam moksham prapnoti. He attains swarajya. He attains the spiritual kingdom, which here means liberation. Tata bhaktaha, and then with a bhakta, shantadi panchavidhaha api. Even though there are, even though that devotee could be of any of the 5 types. Swarupena Shantaha Chidrupatvena Dasaha. And so Swarupa he is Shanta. And in a spiritual form, he is in Dasya, is a Dasa in Dasirasa Sakha Sakhena eva Pitrade Vatsalyena Priya Prema eva Upetam Yuktam Atmanam Swam Tatha. So when he realizes himself as being in a pacified state, or a servant, or a friend, or a father, mother, or a beloved wife, or fiancé of the Lord, when he sees that, तथा मया अपि पंचविधभाव विषयेन सह साक्षात् परब्रह्मणा प्रभुना सख्या पुत्र आदिना कान्तेन च उपेतम् इति यथायतमेव अर्थः. So then he approaches me, who is also the appropriate Vishaya of each of these bhavas, each of these moods. For Shantarasa, the Supreme Lord reciprocates by revealing himself as directly the Supreme Brahman, Parabrahman. For Dasya Rasa, the Lord manifests himself as the beloved master of that devotee. For a friend, as a friend. Or in Vatsalya Rasa, he manifests himself as a son, etc. And for the soul in conjugal love with him as a wife or a fiancé, he manifests himself as a beloved husband, etc. As appropriate. Swarajyam, svena chit ghana akarena, swiyena prabhuna sakhya putradena kantena cha saha rajate iti tasya bhavaha tattvam vikshati prapnoti. So he attains a spiritual kingdom, which in this case will mean that he attains this same supreme absolute truth. And he shines along with that supreme absolute truth, who reveals himself corresponding to all of these 5 rasas, either as the personified spiritual consciousness, or as his own master, his own friend, his own son, and so on, or his own beloved, her own beloved husband, or fiancé, and so on. Okay, this purport I'll read out in the next session. We'll stop with that. There's something in the chat box. What is that? How will we understand Krishna's mercy is coming to us or not? We understand it simply by the effect. We understand it by the effect. When we make spiritual progress, then we understand Krishna's mercy has come. That's all. It's not a very complicated thing. Anshagal Gudar Vyashik Pasan Dibhya Vicha Paditanam Pavanabhya Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha.